What is going on, everybody? Today we're looking at the LEGO Star Wars Battle Droid with STAP set 75428 with 1,088 pieces that retails for $140 US. So this is a cool another buildable droid, this time with our B1 Battle Droid that comes with the STAP speeder, which looks really cool, and it'll come with a stand, so it'll be up in the air, which is awesome. And it comes with a little battle droid. It's hard to really see, but down at the bottom you see the battle droid there. So overall, this was a pretty cool set, of course, from the Phantom Menace, as we see the fields of Naboo there in the background, and overall really cool, nice design with our buildable droid as well as the STAP speeder there. And if we spin around, we can see the design on the back, so you can see obviously we can take the droid off the speeder and just have the droid just as a figure there. Shows the speeder going on and off of the display base and showing that like you can have the gun in his hand or stored on the back and stuff, and just looks cool overall. So there it is on the base and all that. So a pretty cool set overall. I was really excited for the set, especially after the buildable droid cut, so I really like that. So when they announced they were doing a B1 Battle Droid version, I was excited to get that as well. We'll just have to see if I like it as much as I like the Droidica though. So let's go ahead and start looking at this set. Of course, we just have the one minifigure, so I'll just do it with the display base, so we won't look at that separately. So let's go and just look at the buildable droid itself. So here we have the droid on the STAP, so it looks pretty cool. As I spin around here, you can see the droid up on the STAP, which looks cool. So nice buildable droid design. We get its feet pegged into the little feet things, as well as the hands on the handlebars, so that's what's keeping it up there. And like I showed and stuff, we can easily pop that off and just use it as a separate buildable droid with our STAP speeder, of course, in the all brown design, and everything there down to the display base. So we get the nice black stand and the base here with the little plaque and stuff, and our little miniature version with our minifigure battle droid and stuff there as well. So all looks pretty cool. So we'll have to, of course, look at all that. But the B1 battle droids were droids that were used by the Trade Federation in overwhelming numbers to make up for their cheap, flimsy designs. And then the STAP speeder is a single trooper aerial platform, which is a small repulsor craft vehicle piloted by a single B1 battle droid used for patrol and reconnaissance, and armed with a pair of blaster cannons. So it looks pretty good for both of these overall. So of course, we'll just kind of look at it here all together. So like I said, we got the B1 battle droid holding onto our STAP speeder. So like I said, with the STAP speeder, we get the handlebars, the two guns shooting out of the front, our two engines here off to the side, of course, that keep it up in the air. And then we get that, and of course we can take it off the display like it showed, so you just can unclip it there. Of course, now have to worry about this falling and stuff, but you can have it there and sort of play around with it, have it, speeding through there and all that. But it looks pretty cool. But since I do have this off, I'll go ahead and just pull the battle droid off so we can look at it separately as the buildable figure. And of course, with the droid off, we just have our STAP speeder now, and you can just see more of the design on there. Just kind of hold it up here so you can see all that it's designed to be, like all the brown and stuff. So it adds a lot of nice with that brown color. And of course, like I showed, the engines, the handlebars, all that sort of stuff. So it looks pretty good overall. They did a really good job designing it in the Lego design there. But with that, we can stick it back on the stand. So we'll do that there and set that aside for now and look at our buildable droid, which looks pretty good, of course, being the B1 battle droid. Now, of course, I don't like the function stuff as much, especially like the Droidica, because it's just more of the buildable figures like they do nowadays. So like more recently, I got the Galactus. Anytime they've done like the Captain America figures like this, I've got them. So I've had experience with figures like this. And of course, to me, they don't always work out the best or look the best stuff. So same with this B1 battle droid. Of course, it does look like a battle droid, so I can't really complain too much about that. So we get their longer like face with a nice like printed piece here. At least I believe it was printed and not a sticker there. Of course, it's like little head tails there off the back, which does have some movement to it, which is nice. The backpack and gun, we'll go and pop the gun off of here too, so we just undo that. So we'll put that gun in its hand in a second, but hey, I have the backpack on there with the antennas and stuff. Of course, get the two arms off to the side. We get the chest, even a little sticker piece like they do, and then of course down to the like midsection that's kind of open there with like the ab design and stuff. So it doesn't move a whole lot, a little bit of flexible movement and stuff to it there, but doesn't move any or crunches or anything. And then down to legs, so we get the long spindly legs to the feet there. Of course, that always kind of look funny on these figures, but just what it looks like. But love that they added like the big circles stuff here to add, more of that droid movements and everything. And of course, with these, we get a lot of the movements. So like the head can move back and forth a little there. So we get the different pieces of the head and the neck as well move together, can twist around. We get the shoulders that will come up and twist all the way around and stuff. So we get that movements. Then we get the elbow joints. So we get the elbow that will move there, which is kind of like a neat droid design that moves up there about 45. The wrist will twist around as well. So twist around and flex and stuff that allows us to grip onto the handlebars. Then to the hips will move the same. So back and forth and then in and out a little as well with the knee joint. So back and forth, but just a little. There's not a whole lot of range, unfortunately. And then there's a little like side to side movement as well, and then down to the foot can move back and forth and twist side to side and twist around stuff. So a lot of range of movement there, but of course, like trying to get it stand up, if you don't get it positioned right, it'll look kind of weird, but you can get it standing with no issues. But let's go and give the Battle Droid the gun. So I'll get his arm bent up here and put the gun in, and then it has like a clip in here, and I assume we just have to get it positioned a certain way and then clip it into his hand. So that's how you clip it in the handlebars. The handlebars have a clip on them, and you just clip them in between the fingers there. So I assume you do the same with the gun. You just put it in there and then get the thumb like twisted around it so it looks like it's holding on to it. Yeah, about like that. So there it looks like kind of like the droid is holding on to the gun, and then we can of course put it in the other hand as well. So sort of like that, we can have the Battle Droid holding the gun. Of course, doesn't really work out the best, but I assume if I work around and get the movements and stuff, it'll look a little bit better and stuff, but you can get the droid to hold on to the gun just like that. So that is pretty neat that you can do that. Like I said, I still like this. This will be something I probably keep on display, especially with my Droideka, just because I like the Droideka so much. So I'll probably put this with it, but I wish it would like work out a little bit better and function better and all that. But speaking of Droideka, here is our Droideka. So there's the buildable Droideka compared to the Battle Droid. Now I don't feel that's right, like height-wise. I feel the Droidekas are actually pretty big, so it should at least probably come up to the shoulder. So they didn't keep it in like a scale or anything there. So like I said, that's kind of disappointing, especially with how good the Droideka looks, you know, pretty smooth and everything all over, where the Battle Droid has a lot of studs still showing on it. So I wish just overall it could have like worked out a little bit better with the way they design and stuff to have it fit more in line with the Droideka, especially just because I love this Droideka so much. It's like one of my favorite Lego sets we've gotten in years, so I absolutely love it and keep it displayed on all times. So I wanted the Battle Droid to go along with it. But then we'll set the Droideka aside for now and just finish looking at the base here for our STAP, especially down here at the bottom. So here we have our display plaque, which does attach to the front. I didn't realize that till just earlier, because I've always noticed like when I built that there were these grips on the bottom, so it's hard to really see, but like little grips, there's one on the front and back, and I'm like, what is supposed to go on there? It makes no sense. And then I saw in the picture on the back of the box that there's a clip built in here, so you can clip this right into the front. So I was like, okay, that makes it look much nicer with that little display base right at the bottom of the STAP speeder design. And then of course, as you see here, we get our minifigure droid on the STAP speeder as well. But then we have our plaque for our STAP speeder, the single trooper aerial platform that's piloted by B1 series battle droids, the manufactured by Bactoid Armor Workshop, has a height of 2.9 meters and a max speed of 400 kilometers per hour, is equipped weapon-wise with 2 blaster cannons, and has an affiliation with the Trade Federation and the Confederacy of Independent Systems. So that's pretty nice that it's all that laid out there with a nice picture there of our battle droid on the STAP speeder, and that was all printed on there, no stickers or anything, so that's always really nice. And then we get our battle droid minifigure on the STAP speeder, so we get our little minifigure there. Of course, we've had these multiple times before, but a nice STAP speeder design, even a different design than what we've had like in the past more recently and stuff, so that's pretty nice with the brown design. Of course, we get the guns up top there with our 2 guns sticking off, our engines off the side, little feet platform here, going back to the droid design where they just have the 2 stud Lego piece plate there on the back, and of course on a nice clear platform to have up in the air speeding around. And then on the back of this, the plaque, there is also some additional stuff, so if we want to take the droid off of the STAP speeder, we do get an additional arm that we can switch out, so the straight arm to hold the gun, and then the gun design there as well, so those are stored away on the back. So if we want to take the droid off that STAP speeder, we can do that as well. So pretty nice overall. I was excited for this when they first announced it, like I said, mostly going off that Droideka, but obviously comparing it to that Droideka, this isn't nearly as good. I don't hate it or anything, like especially putting the droid on the STAP speeder. I do really like the design. I just wish the droid itself was built a lot better and looked nicer than what it does here. But now that we've gone through everything, let me put the droid back on the speeder. So there we've got our battle droid back on the STAP speeder. And like I said, in this form like this, I really like it a lot, having the droid on the STAP speeder on the base and everything. Looks really nice, just all that combination together. Just like I said, with this battle droid all by itself, I don't like it as much. Now the STAP speeder is really nice. It's more what I was, wanting, the droid look like. Obviously it's not a droid, but just with the nice smoother design and everything it's got, looks so much better than the battle droid. So they did a really good job on the STAP speeder. And then the battle droid, like I said, is just about what you expect with the other buildable figures they make nowadays and stuff. So nothing really exciting there. I feel it could have been done a little bit better, but overall not a horrible set. I'm still happy with it overall. This will be a set, as long as I can get it to fit on my shelf, will be on display. But as I said, I just wish it had been more exciting and closer to that Droideka. So let me know what you thought of the battle droid on STAP speeder set down in the comments, and if you enjoyed my review, let me know with that like and hit the subscribe button to see more. But I want to thank you all for watching. I hope you all stay awesome out there, and I'll see you in our next review.